Shakespeare was speaking in slang. Don't know what he meant, but I'm sure he meant well. But after all these alibis, it's sure hard to tell. And I'm speaking to those who aren't speaking to me. They're the ones we call larvals, slaves and not free. They're the ones driving cars out to the driving range. They're the ones who think thinking is how you get paid. And here's to the candy-ass Luddites, to the ones who opposed LSD. 1966, 406 scientists. 1967, there were 3. Now time has passed and so has the past. Ideas are like brawlers who fight to stand last. And my team is strong and my team is pure. And your team sells poisons and my team sells cures. The mind and the atom should not be off the map, with the words "there be dragons" written over the gap. Cause some folks are cowards and some folks are brave, but most folks are children who long to behave. And here's to the candy-ass Luddites, to the ones who opposed LSD. 1966, 406 scientists. 1967, there were 3. I'm trying to sleep, and it's late in the summer. I'm trying to keep all my protons together. 'Cause it's blinding to be the only ones who can see, and it's blinding to be me. Out of the hub place and into the rock, the trip gets much shorter each time round the block. Till the trip's not a trip, but a dead-eyed embrace of vices and distractions, perverted and chaste. 'Cause you've been caught sleeping on the job of your life, hardwired forever with its likes and dislikes. And at the end of it all, when you've never transcended, you might think you've won, but no prize will be granted. And here's to the candy-ass Luddites, to the ones who opposed LSD. 1966, 406 scientists. 1967, there were 3. Is this evolution real? Can't you feel the DNA pushing on the galaxy? These limitations are a fallacy. Mount Zion's on another planet. Build the mission and I'll man it. High like Carl Sagan or a Zen-inspired pagan debating Ronald Reagan just one time, but he pulled the plug. Had the jury drugged and the Bill of Rights mugged into the larval slugs. It felt like apple pie and a warm hug. Agitator on the MIC like Bill Bixby. Cross me and see me on TV with a soundbite portfolio. Like a spin doctor, I'm a win like the anti-myth rhythm rhyme shocker. Crowd beat rocker, booking street talker, idea stalker, heroic like Luke Skywalker. Misery bleeds out of 7 billion, but Crick and Watson got me thinking that we're just killing time till we wake up to our minds. 7 circuits, 7 signs, high-tech MC pushing data down the line, moving at the speed of thought, waiting to leave the docks. Got a pipe bomb to open up Pandora's box while dinosaurs plot near the cross and try and set back the clocks. But we only go up like Discovery, a species in recovery. But the jagged edges in the future line with the time they ban this weed of mine to sell turpentine to call in mind. You see what I'm getting at, but you can't be letting that crucify that dream in your pocket. Cause it's I and I who built the rocket, I and I who split the atom. Can't even fathom the next innovation, raving on a space station or a new Zen rhyme to inspire creation to finish inflation and deforestation. We're here to go like intergalactic nomads, and the ones without the gonads staying in place, phone ads, they clone fast and won't last. Doomed. Been out of tune, but the dark side of the moon is coming and it's coming soon. It's only gonna get weirder. Read your gonzo, build up your console, grab the ring and the spinning thing like Allen Ginsberg eats garbanzo beans. Captain Ahab hurls his tobacco into the sea because although Captain Ahab has smoked his entire life, he cares nothing for tobacco. Captain Ahab cares about one thing and one thing only: to kill Moby Dick. In 1996, I read a book called LSD Psychotherapy by a guy called Stanislav Grof. And in it, he detailed his work with patients where he would give them LSD over and over. And at first they would, in his words, abreact, relive, and integrate traumata from their biographical unconscious, surgeries, accidents, abuse. But he'd keep going. And they would have experiences even deeper, even more elemental, even more powerful. And he organized them according to the 3 clinical phases of birth and the one preceding it called the basic perinatal matrices: bliss, despair, rage, liberation. Now this was 1996, and I was reading this, and I was only 4. And I was thinking, wow, that's a great idea for a rock and roll show. 20 years and a half later, and Moby Dick will finally be conquered tonight on this very stage in about 1 hour. But I was going to, I got a stand-up coming, a real stand-up, real bona fide, certified, genuine stand-up. And I booked him, and I was going to have him come on and then the band come on. I was going to do a thing, have him come on, band come on. He sends me an email saying, my material is very controversial and offensive. So, and I was like, great, nice. I thought, oh, wait, that might not be good for the bliss part of the show. So I think I'm going to do a little bit, bring on Mark, do a little more, talk about my book, and then we'll do the band. So, see the guy that started Starbucks has written a book documenting his business successes? You know, it seems to me if you're selling addictive psychostimulants at artificially inflated prices, there's not a lot of financial wizardry involved there. It's like, hey, those kids I sold crack to last week came back this week looking for more crack. I'm a genius. I'm going to write a book. I'm on drugs. Got the attention deficit disorder. I experimented with non-drug methods, but it didn't help me at all. The cure was in the last chapter, so starting to drift at that point. My doctor says I should stop experimenting with LSD, but then what does he know? He's a purple frog with the head of Jim Morrison, so starting to question his credibility, actually. At least I think that's what he said. All I heard was, because I was on acid myself, and I thought, is he speaking like that, or am I just hearing him like that? And then I jumped out of a window, and he laughed and laughed and laughed. So they're legalizing marijuana. That's a nice thing, isn't it? Huh? You can smoke weed and trip out and imagine that you've helped pay for an MRI machine and schools, roads, and hospitals, you know? What was it like before? You smoke weed, you trip out, you have to picture some emaciated Ukrainian schoolgirl shackled to a Hell's Angel, with a kilogram of heroin sewn into her intestine, flying into Vancouver on a transatlantic flight to become a sex slave. That's not a good trip. But it's natural. Marijuana, it's natural. How could anyone oppose something so natural? You know, it just grows out of the earth. You just take some industrial grade fans, an HVAC system to monitor your temperature and humidity, 10,000 feet of cellophane, some bulbs with them ballast, and some hoods that you can use sodium diode bulbs, and it just grows. It's the most natural thing ever. Okay, there's my stand-up portion. So